Hey y'all, I'm a little bit late or maybe a lot bit late, maybe like an hour, I don't know. Either way, I'm here and I am here. So nothing crazy happened today when I was getting ready to log on, which I'm excited for because it's always something crazy happening when I'm getting ready to log on and do my thing. But nothing happened today. So I hope everybody is having an amazing day. Y'all are enjoying yourself and just living life and loving life because that's important to live life and love life. I hate when this little thing right here on my hair. I'm trying to get my background. Anyway, tonight we're gonna talk about anxiety because I hear all the time people be like, I got anxiety, I got anxiety, I got anxiety. And so sometimes we be playing with words. A lot of times, I ain't gonna even say sometimes. A lot of times we be playing with words, and we don't understand like what we're doing in our life when we say these different things about ourselves. When it's like we saying stuff like "I got anxiety" or "I got this" or "I got that," and you kind of like self-diagnosing, but you don't even really know if you have that or what comes with that. But I wanted to talk about anxiety because anxiety seems to be almost at the level with fear. Anxiety will stop you from doing so many different things. It'll stop you from leaving your house like on a daily basis because you have anxiety of what like what you expect to happen out there or what you think may happen outside of your house. Anxiety will stop you from talking to people, which means that you will miss opportunities a lot of times. So anxiety will do a lot of different things to hinder what it is you're trying to do in your life or what you try to do in somebody else's life because it can do that too. A lot of times we think that certain things are just scaled to us in our life, but we don't realize that what we do what we do affects other people. What we say affects other people. How we act affects other people. So if you're afraid to leave your house and you have children and you never leave and you just keep the kids in the house all the time, when they get older now they're afraid to leave the house based off of what your fears are. So I deem the month of June self-discovery month, learning why you do the things that you do and asking yourself those tough questions and really thinking about it. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about this month is anxiety. So, naturally, anxiety is a natural emotion. Like it's a natural emotion. It's a natural emotion to feel nervous, to feel worried, to feel frustrated. It's natural. You're going to do that in life. But it's the intensity that we attach to it. So, if say you are a social anxiety. You don't like to talk to people, or you find it hard to talk to people because you feel like you're not communicating well. But a lot of times, it's not that you're not communicating well, it's that you're worried about what people are going to think of you. So if you really think about it, you say, I got social anxiety, I can't talk to people. Why? What do you feel is wrong? Somebody might say, well, I feel like my eyes cross when I talk to people, and I'm just giving an example. Or I feel like this, or I feel like people think my teeth crooked or something crazy like that. So when you saying like I got anxiety or I got these different emotions, you have to be careful because a lot of times it's just based off of a fear that you have. And I think I talked about fear so many times and talked about how fear hinders you from living life, from enjoying life, from finding peace, because fear is a crippling emotion. But now it seems like anxiety is starting to go along that same line. I think people don't understand that it's okay to have phobias. Like it's okay to say like I'm afraid of fire. I'm afraid of snakes. Growing up, I was afraid of snakes. If I see a snake, if I see something that looked like a snake, if I move, I'm not really. I'm a little bit on the fence right now. I don't want to mess with them. Don't mess with me. We good. Either way it go, we good. But it's okay to have phobias. That doesn't mean that it has to create a big situation for you. A lot of times we will work ourselves up, but you got to learn how to work yourself down. You have to learn how to work yourself down to get you in a space to where it's like you can live functionally. Yeah, it might be snakes in this area, but long as you don't see them, long as they messing with you, you have to calm yourself down. Most of our anxieties, such as fears, such as convulsions, such as PTSD, Those things come from trauma. And so y'all know me, I'm not a big medicine person. I'm completely not a medication person at all. Because I feel like why give me a drug that's gonna alter my brain when my brain is not the issue, it's my emotions that are the issue. So I'm definitely not a I'm definitely not a medication person, but at times people do have to take medication for that. I have OCD. I have to have things really clean in my space. I have to have things like neat. I have to wash the dishes at night. And for some people that will bother them because they don't like to wash their dishes at night or they don't want to. And guess what? That's okay. That is okay. That's part of like when you're saying you have anxiety for certain things, think about what created that anxiety. How did you get to that space to where you feel like you cannot emotionally move past that? Because that's what it is. You cannot emotionally move past that in order to focus right. Panic disorder. So this is one of the branches of anxiety, panic disorder, meaning that you will panic in different situations. Um, and I panic a lot of times with my kids were when they were little and they were around water. But I would panic because when we go around water, my mom would panic. My kids know how to swim like a fish. And so we knew how to swim like a fish. I'm thinking like, why am I panicking? Because at the end of the day, the water could do something or something could happen. That's just life. Some things are just life. But why am I panicking about it? Oh, because my mom panicked about it. So I'm panicking about it when it comes to my kids because now I got all these thoughts created in my mind. And that's what happens with anxiety. We start thinking all these different things that have not happened, or we start thinking about all these different scenarios that may not happen, and we start working ourselves up. We start working out. We always thinking of the what if. We thinking of the what if. But sometimes you have to switch the thought to what if nothing happens at all. Sometimes you have to turn your brain off and say, let me control my mind. Like literally, let me control my mind. Let me say like to myself, no, okay, I'm not going to create this. I say this thing all the time, you are what you think. So when you keep creating these negative thoughts in your mind over and over and over again, and you keep creating these anxieties in your life, then of course you're going to still have that anxiety. Then things are going to happen. And you are what you think. Whatever you hold tight to, that's what you are. If you're a person that feels like I'm compulsive, it's okay to be compulsive. It's okay to walk around and wipe things down. Maybe that's what makes you happy. Maybe that's where you find your calm. I find my calm in cleaning up, mopping the floor, washing the dishes, wiping out the windowsills. I feel peace in that area. I feel peace in that area. I don't feel like that is an issue. And it's okay to be different from other people. Yeah, people be saying stuff like, "Oh, well, you weird if you have social anxiety." Why am I weird? Because I don't like to talk to people that much. Maybe I'm just not a talker. Maybe I don't have anxiety. Maybe I just don't talk that much. I'm one person that don't talk much. So when people say they have social anxiety, I start asking them a bunch of questions instantly. Because some people just cannot people all the time. You can be around a certain number of people and you can have a good time, but then there's a time when you need to be to yourself, and that's okay. That is okay. But we live in this world that says we have to be in a big crowd of people. We have to be around people 24/7. We have to do this and we have to do that, but we don't. We don't. It's okay to be different. It's okay to stand alone. It's okay to do those things. It is 100% okay to do that. So we got anxiety, right? So then we got general anxiety where people are just afraid. They're afraid to walk out their house because of what? I get anxiety when I leave my house. You know why? Because I don't like traffic. I don't like traffic. So I only want to leave at certain times of the day. I don't want to leave when I get off work at 4:30. I don't want to leave. So when somebody wants something at 4:30, they better wait till 7. Because any way that I can avoid traffic, I'm going to avoid traffic. So I know that sometimes that creates it. But when you create an anxiety for yourself, you have to find ways around it. because it's really not an anxiety. It's just that you might not like something, or you don't want to do something, or something just creates a frustrating moment for you and you just want to pull yourself out of it. But we walk around now saying, I got anxiety. I don't have anxiety about leaving my house. I have anxiety about traffic, meaning like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to go nowhere that is busy. I live in Tampa, and if you live in Tampa, you know, like it's traffic everywhere from 3:30 until 7. I don't want to go anywhere. But it's because I get frustrated. So it's okay for me to have that emotion and not need medication or not need someone to say something to me. Anxiety is a natural emotion. So, some ways to deal with your anxiety. The first way, definitely avoid situations that cause you to feel like I have anxiety about this. If you're not a social person, that's okay. You do socialize, you go out, you talk to people, you do different things, but then you need a space by yourself, and that's okay. That is okay. You don't have to be an extrovert like everybody in the world or half the people in the world. You can be yourself. And people shouldn't make you feel bad for saying, like, okay, I had enough. I need to get to myself. That is okay. Physical exercise. Exercise helps with anxiety. When you don't need to, when you feel like a panic attack coming on, you got to learn how to breathe. But don't wait till you get ready to go through the panic attack to learn how to breathe. Start doing it before, every single day, working on your breathing. I think that people forget that when you don't breathe, when you get upset, you ever seen a child get upset and the child gets so mad and they like, and they holding their breath and they just like not doing anything. Adults, we do that. We do that at an adult age. So you have to get into the space to where you're breathing. And I mean, like, get you a YouTube video and check out breathing exercises and do those breathing exercises every day and watch how like a bunch of anxiety, a bunch of pain, a bunch of frustration, a bunch of things that's going on within your body, and they just start to go away because we don't breathe. We just hold on to this stuff. I got anxiety about my kids going to their dad's house. Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, I think something can happen. You feeling this nervous feeling in your stomach, and you feeling like you're gonna get a headache, and you thinking that you're gonna get sick. Breathe. I had a friend the other day, and she was so and I told her I was gonna tell this story. She was so worked up, like she was really worked up, and I was like looking at her. I was like, "Girl, what's wrong with you?" And so she was like, I don't know. So I was like, well, what's wrong with you? She said, I got anxiety. I started patting her on the back like a baby. And I kept saying, like, breathe. And then she started calming down. You have to breathe. Do some exercising. You can, if you don't want to go outside in the beginning, do it in the house. Because I'm telling you, when you start losing that weight and looking good, it becomes addictive. So you want to get outside the house. So do some exercising. Learn what it is that is really causing you the anxiety, because there is an underlying thing. Being that anxiety is a natural thing. It's supposed to happen. You're gonna get worried, you're gonna get frustrated, you're gonna feel like I don't want to talk to anybody because my teeth crooked, my eyebrows not waxed, or I'm heavy set, and people, like, because society gives us all these things about how we should look, how we should smell, how we should this and how we should that. And then we start comparing ourselves to these different things in the world when we don't have to compare to those. We don't have to be that way. So get out and do some physical exercise. Cognitively, start thinking through it. Why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling anxiety just from shaking someone's hand? Why am I feeling anxiety from being around a lot of people? And when you start really thinking about it, you'll be like, dang, that happened to me. Me having anxiety when it came to snakes. Well, when I discovered when I was little, somebody threw a snake on me. So now I'm an adult and I'm like petrified of snakes. So I had to learn, like, okay, they threw a snake on me when I was little. The snake didn't bite me. Like I said, I don't care if they in the vicinity, but don't come next to me and I won't come next to you. But I'm not having a panic attack now when I see them. I'm not stressing out when I see a snake go by. I'm not, like I'm not in that space anymore. So you have to get that cognitive together as far as like, tell yourself, like, why? Why do I feel like this? I don't have anxiety when I go out in traffic now. Why? Because I don't have anxiety. I just don't like traffic. I don't like traffic. But we create these anxieties. We create these compulsive behaviors, and we say this is weird, this is strange, and I need medication for this. And I'll say again, I'm not a big medication person. Anxiety is natural. It's an emotion. You're going to get worried. You're going to get frustrated. You're not going to want to do certain things. But in order for you to get through those things, you have to find the underlying reason as to why you don't want to do them. Why are you feeling this way? Why are they telling me I have PTSD? Why are they telling me this? And ask them before someone gives you some medication, ask them like, you're telling me I have PTSD, which is an emotion, and you're giving me something to change my brain. I'm just saying. Sometimes it's the chemical in your body. But you can fight the chemical reactions to anxiety with what you eat. The brain and the stomach are naturally connected. So some of us have a chemical imbalance. Some of us are born with that. Some of the things that we have eaten through the years have triggered those things, which will create anxiety for you. So maybe you have to balance your diet, or you have to pay attention, get a journal. When I eat French fries, this is how I feel. When I eat greasy foods, this is how I feel the next day or the next couple of days. This is how you get over anxiety naturally. Environment. Your environment is a big factor to why you feel anxiety. If you wake up, and I tell people this all the time, if you wake up every single morning and all you see is dirty streets, all you see is bums, all you see is tore down houses, you're going to have some anxiety. You are naturally going to have some anxiety, especially when you get older, because you weren't in an environment for you to thrive. People don't understand how important it is to create a space where their kids can thrive. And they may feel like I'm doing the best I can do, but it's important for that area to be clean. It's important for them to get food every day. It's important for them to have someone to talk to. It's important for them to learn how to deal with their emotions. All of that stuff is important because it provides trauma even at a young age. So if you're not in an atmosphere, or your kids are not in an atmosphere where they're thriving, where they're able to thrive, or where they're able to see people thrive, it's going to be hard. That is going to create some anxieties when they go outside, because now they're used to seeing people like this. They go to a different area. I ain't used to talking to those people. I don't talk to people who live, oh my God, this your house? Oh no, this too rich for me. Like stuff like that. And so it creates anxiety that I'm not good enough. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. And we create these anxieties for ourselves, and then we create these anxieties for our children. So those are some ways to be able to look at it. One of the things it said was medical conditions. There are some medical conditions that can cause you. If you got a cut in your face, I have a friend that has a cut in her face. And so when she goes out, she gets anxiety. But she gets anxiety because she didn't have this cut in her face before, but now she have a long cut in her face. And I always tell her, like, it's okay. It's okay. People are not looking at you because there are other people that have the same thing. Physical appearance. If you feel like your hair not done, or if you feel like this is going to create anxieties for you. If you were like 300 pounds and now you 160, sometimes you still see yourself being big. So you still have those little things where people are picking on you, or talking about you, or treating you disrespectfully. So when you go out, of course, you have anxiety. So you have to figure out what the underlying issue is. Why do I have this anxiety? Why is it hard for me to have a great personality with friends or people I consider friends, but when I go out in the community, I got my head down and I'm not talking to anybody? And then write it down. I don't know how y'all remember, or how certain people remember anything in these phones, because I forget to look at my phone for stuff. But when I write stuff down, it seems like it gets into my soul. So write it down. This is why I feel like this. This happened to me. If you are a person that has been molested before, and then you get around a lot of women, or men, because men get molested too, little boys get molested too. You get around a lot of men, or you get around a lot of women, and you feel uncomfortable, or you can't have great relationships with the opposite sex because it creates an anxiety for you. Why? Think back. I guarantee you, at some point, that opposite sex did something to you that was inappropriate and you didn't like it. At some point. So it is time to heal our anxieties. I said this month, June, is self-discovery, learning about yourself, exposing truths. And I mean really exposing truths, like really dealing with yourself and saying, this is me, but I want to change this. Because the only way for something to change is for you to dig deep and say, I have this problem, and this is why I have this problem, and I need to get rid of this problem. How do I get rid of this problem? And work with someone to be able to get through that. So we'll just recap before I go. Anxiety is a natural, like it's a natural thing. It's going to happen. You want to find out why you're having anxiety. What is creating this anxiety for you? Why don't you want to talk to people? Why are you not social? Is it because people turn their back on you so much, and so you like afraid to make connections with other people? Why are you compulsive? I'm compulsive, and I'll tell you, like, I'm a person that will overbuy groceries. Like, I overbuy food. It's just me in the house. I got a refrigerator full of food. Why do I have all this food? Because my grandmother bought a lot of food because she grew up poor. So my grandmother did it, then my mama did it because my grandmother did it. So now I'm doing it, and I'm trying to control it. Like, I don't need all this food just for me to be here. It's only me, no kids, no nothing. It's just me in here. I don't need this food. So it's something that I'm working on because we all work on things all the time. And that may seem like a little one, but for me, it's a big one because I just went and spent maybe $300 on groceries for just one person. I could have spent 100 and been fine. So whatever it is that creates an anxiety for you, but however you are feeling, just know that it's okay, but then start dealing with why you are feeling that way. Why are you having a hard time not cleaning up? Why can't you sit down? Everything's clean. So why are you still wiping off stuff? You got to figure those things out. And then remember, emotions, physical, and cognitive. Anxiety is an emotional behavior. Physically, you can breathe through it and you can be able to get to the next step. Cognitively, you need to think about, like, why am I this way? And then some things that can cause anxiety is genetic factors. It could be something in your genes. I just told you, my grandmother grew up poor, so she didn't have a lot of food. So when she got an adult, she started buying a lot of food. She just keep food and food and food. So then my mother seen that. So then my mother keep a lot of food. So we got a lot of food all the time. Now I do it. And my sister does it. So, and that's genetic. That came from my grandmother. That didn't even come from my mom. That came from my grandmother. That comes generation after generation. Brain chemistry. Watch what you eat. A lot of times we in bad moods or we in different kind of moods because we have a chemical imbalance to certain kind of foods. There are certain kind of foods that I don't eat because I realize that they make me sad or they get me frustrated. And that might sound crazy, but when you start paying attention to your body and you start paying attention to the different things that you put in your body, like people always ask Demasha, why you don't eat meat? Because I tell them it doesn't treat my body good. I would love to eat a piece of chicken, fried chicken with hot sauce on it. I would love to eat it, but it does not do my body good. Meat does not react good in my body. So then I don't eat meat. Then environmental factors. Check out your environment when you wake up. See what's happening around you. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I always tell people in the African American neighborhoods, we need to clean our neighborhoods up. so that we live in an environment, so we're living in an environment where we can thrive. Because when you wake up and you see people selling drugs, or you see people on the street sleeping, or you see where people done throw trash out their car or whatever, you know what I'm saying? When you keep living in an environment like that, that's how your mindset is going to be focused. Because you're not in an environment congruent for you to thrive. And then medical conditions, different conditions within your body on the inside, on the outside, can make you feel like I have this anxiety. It can make you feel like people watching you or people are talking about you. It's all different kind of things. And people definitely battle within their minds all the time. Some people cannot even leave their house because of anxiety. Some people cannot talk to people. They go into stores with a mask on and covered up and trying to avoid people. And if somebody say hi, they looking crazy. And then people like, what's wrong with you? They dealing with anxiety. And they just haven't set their self down and said, why am I dealing with this? Why am I feeling like this? What can I do where I can be able to function normally in the world? So I ain't gonna beat a dead horse, but I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody for watching, for sharing my videos. I appreciate y'all with the most appreciation. But we can get through anxiety. We don't have to keep letting this natural emotion stress us out or keep us from living a positive life. And when I say positive life, meaning keep us from talking to certain people because we feel like we're not on their level, or keep us from going certain places and literally missing an opportunity. Sometimes people have anxiety so bad that they're missing opportunities because they're not talking, they're not going different places, they're not doing different things because they have created this, they have put themselves in a box. And I'm not, because I'm worried, I'm stressed. I can't. Yeah. It was so funny because I remember when I grew up, and my great grandmother used to say to us all the time, "Don't say I can't." And it seems like we use that word so fluently now. My great grandmother used to say all the time, "Don't, I can't." Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So if you want to get through your anxieties, you can. It's your choice. It's your decision. It's up to you. I gave you a few things that you can do. And if you need more things, you can always DM me. You can always send me a message. You can always call me. I think that my business line is on one of my pages somewhere, and I believe it's on my Zip My Motivation page. But you can always just pick up the phone and say, you know what? I want to do a call with her. And just call me. You can call anonymous because I always pick up the business line. And we can have a conversation so that you can get to the next process of what it is that you need and that you want in your life. If you want to live free, you can live free. It's your choice. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Again, thank y'all for everything. Thank y'all for following me and creating the space for me, because you all create the space for me when you come on here and you watch or you comment and things like that. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and good night.